In addition to the interest rate, consumption and saving choices depend on expected lifetime wealth. To understand this, we'll begin with a hypothesis called consumption smoothing, which states that rational consumers prefer a steady or smooth consumption profile over time, even if income fluctuates over time. So you can imagine there being, this is time, and suppose income fluctuates over time. This is income over time. What this means is we'll try to maintain a consumption profile so we'll try to kind of keep a relatively smooth consumption over time. It doesn't have to be exactly a straight line like this, a horizontal line like this, but as much as possible we like to keep consumption over time smooth. So in order to achieve this, when income is high, we will save, and when income is low, we will borrow. So this should inform how we react to shocks to our current income or expected shocks to our future income. Suppose everything else equal, our current income Y Okay, so Y stands for current income. Suppose it goes up by $100. Because the consumer is richer, she will increase consumption as well, but by less than 100. And that's because she'll save a little bit of the current increase in income so that she can consume more tomorrow as well. This is how she can maintain a smooth consumption profile over time. So let's say that she increases consumption by $70, leaving $30 for consumption tomorrow. Savings today is current income minus taxes minus consumption. So income is changing by $100. Consumption is increasing by $70. You can see that this implies that savings will increase by $30. So in this manner, we can conclude that an increase in current income, all else equal, will make the consumer save more. You can derive the second result, which says that a decrease in current income will make the consumer save less, which is equivalent to saying borrow more. Let's consider shocks to future income or expected shocks to future income. If you expect income tomorrow, so Y prime refers to income tomorrow. If you expect your income to increase in the future, you're going to increase your consumption today. That's because the consumer is richer in the sense of her lifetime income increasing. So she'll consume more. Because current savings is current income minus taxes minus consumption, and nothing has, so all else equal means current disposable income Y minus T is the same. All she's changing in this equation is she's consuming more today, which means she'll save less. Okay, which is equivalent to saying she'll borrow more. Similarly, if future income is expected to fall, the consumer is now poorer overall, she'll consume less, and that will lead to her saving more. So in all of this, the ability to borrow is crucial, and so households that face borrowing constraints will not be able to achieve consumption smoothing. Recall that the supply of loanable funds is upward sloping and is equal to private savings, so that an increase in the interest rate leads to an increase in the supply of loanable funds, causing a movement along this supply curve. We're now going to consider what will create shifts in, or what will lead to shifts in the supply of loanable funds? Any change in private savings at a given interest rate will cause these shifts. As we discussed in the previous slide, any change in expected lifetime wealth will affect savings and therefore shift the supply of loanable funds either to the right or to the left. So for example, if current income increases, we said that consumption increases but by less than the increase in income, and therefore savings will increase. And we can show that by shifting the supply of loanable funds to the right. Taxes and transfers, either current or future, will also affect lifetime wealth, and therefore will have an effect on how much a consumer saves. And if savings increases, shift the supply of loanable funds to the right. If savings decreases, shift the supply of loanable funds to the left. In addition to expected income, an increase in uncertainty will also affect savings. Uncertainty is not necessarily that you expect your income to fall in the future, but that there's greater variance in your future income. If it's high, it'll be quite high, but if it's low, it will be quite low. So as insurance, people tend to save more, and we call that type of saving precautionary savings. Culture and preferences can also have an effect on savings. More future-oriented or patient societies will save more, although we might want to consider how the presence or absence of social security nets affect these. So as a culture, if you're becoming more patient or future-oriented, the supply of loanable funds will shift to the right. If there's a change in the borrowing constraints faced by households, that can also shift the supply of loanable funds. If it becomes easier to borrow at a given interest rate, then savings will fall at each interest rate. And you can show that on the graph by shifting the supply of loanable funds to the left.